Hey kids, it's Friday Maths and we're finding out about data. Today's learning intention is we are learning to collect and check data using a tally. And we're also learning to create a display of this data using a graph. Your success criteria is I can collect and check data using a tally. And also I can create a display of this data using a graph. Let's revise. Data is a collection of information. We can collect information by asking questions, measuring or observing things that are going on around us. We can present data that we collect in different types of ways, such as tallies, graphs, or charts. Today's task is you're going to use your question that you created yesterday, and today you're going to collect your own information by asking or ringing or get in touch with 6 to 10 family, friends, or relatives and asking them their response to your question. And you're going to record this information. You can record this using a tally. And using your information that you get from your friends, family, or relatives, you're going to have a go at making your own graph with all of the parts that I showed you yesterday. The next slide, I'm going to show you how to do that process.
Hey kids, I'm going to take you through the steps for your learning task today. I've written my title and the date in red pencil in my maths book, and I've also written my data question. Now to start with, I was thinking I wanted to find out if people liked white bread or not. But that wouldn't give me much data, would it? Because people would only say yes or no. And then I thought, why don't I ask, could your favourite be white or wholemeal? But then that still wouldn't have much information. So I came up with my good one. What is your favourite bread out of white, wholemeal, multigrain, sourdough, that's my favourite, or wraps? That will give me lots of information and categories to ask. Then I spoke to my own family, I rang up some friends, and I also rang up my mum and my brothers. And I've got my tally. White, wholemeal, multigrain, sourdough, and wraps. These are my categories of my question. And you see I've already done my tally. Do you notice here that I've made 5 and then one more, which is 6, and then I've tallied the rest? You might like to make that way as well in your book as you ask your relatives or family or friends. Do at least 6 and maybe up to 10. I've done 13 for mine. You might even like to make a total of that too. After doing my tally, I'm going to do my graph, and I've already set it up here. I've got one line going down the page with some space here and one line going across. And I'm going to look and I'm going to write my categories down here. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Sometimes you've got to sort of squish them in a little bit, and that's okay. Just so it fits in without running off the edge of the page. Sour. See how I'm doing this? I'm making them 2 lines. These are the categories. It would be a great idea to include the categories in your graph. My categories are bread. And then I've got along here, I've got my numbers. Here in the corner 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've already marked them off here as I ruled my line. I know that my highest result is 6, so I only actually need to go up to here. I'm going to show you how to do my first one, and then I'll leave it there. Now I'm looking back at my tally and I can see white was 6 people's favourite bread. So I'm going to draw 1-to-1 correspondence of loaves of bread. And you'll notice that I'm not doing an art class. I'm doing a maths class. You don't need to draw it exactly correct, it just needs to be a representation. And wholemeal was 2. Do you see how I make the shape the same every time? And then multigrain, 1, 2 and 3. Sourdough was 1 and wrapped was 1 as well. Let's see if you can have a go now too, kids. See you later.